Welcome to Design to Share Q&A. I'm Nicola.
And I'm Erwin.
Today we're addressing worst design mistakes. What do we feel that are really mistakes?
There are so many design mistakes. The question is, how can we tell which ones are the worst?
If you don't address them in the beginning, that's when they multiply and you have real problems on your hands.
Okay, so let's go through some of them.
One of those mistakes that we feel quite strongly about are fake shutters. Very often you see them on your typical colonial, and either the windows don't relate to the shutters, they're too small, they need to be able to close the full width of the window.
There's a company, timberlane.com, of course, and they are really wonderful in terms of doing very authentic shutters and different styles of shutters. In fact, in certain places, the shutters traditionally were solid shutters on the ground floor and louvered shutters on the second floor. That was common on the east coast of the United States.
Yes.
And then, of course, down south in Florida had that kind of shutter, which was sort of these shutters that were like eaves. So the shutters are a very strong element, but they really need to be done well. I think the biggest mistake of all of these, this whole McMansion thing, and I think we're going to actually pay a price for it. You know, in the Second World War and after the Depression, the large houses of the Victorian period were basically torn down. The idea being that the cost of the energy was so high that we ended up actually having quite luxurious apartments and houses with just 8-foot high ceilings. So they were more efficient to heat, more efficient to cool, and I think we're getting towards that. I mean, I think, you know, in today's age, with the sort of the greening and so on of the United States and of the rest of the world, we're so concerned with the cost and the efficiency of you know, of our energy use, but maybe just making the space a bit smaller might be the way to go.
Size is not always what it should be.
Right.
Size does not always matter.
Well, anyway.
One of my pet peeves or pet hates is actually sliding mirrored closet doors, and also the bifold doors, which I cannot stand either. You know,
right.
You're far better off, you know, sticking with the proper details and having the regular, you know, the passage doors, and actually they take up less space.
Having the sliding doors really cuts off half the closet.
Yes.
I mean, look, there are times when one can actually use it, one should use it.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't have place for the doors to swing open.
Right.
I understand, and sometimes it's not the place where you want to spend the money. If you're on a tight budget and it's some guest room in the back of the house or the laundry room, sure, then leave it like that, fair enough. But sort of to strive for the quality over the quantity, rather to have the smaller house with the better detailing is very much something to strive for.
We think you should really invest, spend more, and get the real McCoy, whether it's laminate flooring, or whether it's, you know, terracotta tiles that are actually porcelain and not real terracotta, made to look like terracotta. Not that there's anything wrong with porcelain tile.
Of course, I mean, if the porcelain tile is made to look like porcelain tile, let's say it's a solid white porcelain tile, or it's a solid color, it's absolutely fine, of course. But for the entry foyer for a kitchen, a room that's really used a lot, you put so much money in the kitchen.
Yes.
To spend so much money on the kitchen cabinetry and the appliances,
and
then have a cheap floor that's a sort of a $2 a square foot floor, it's kind of silly.
Right. You're going to benefit from it because you'll get more mileage. I mean, it'll certainly last you an awful lot longer.
Another pet hate that we want to share with you, of course, is all about moldings. Moldings have become very important, especially with an awareness of traditional interiors, all these colonial homes, whether it's the moldings on the inside of the house or the outside of the house. And all of a sudden, because so much more of it's being used, there isn't that kind of education that came with the architects and the designers who were trained using traditional classical elements.
Right, that can be overkill.
Right, so it's overkill or underkill. Sometimes the moldings are too wimpy or too insignificant for the space. Sometimes they're overscaled, and sometimes, you know, incorrectly. The idea is, you know, think about it and also do research on it. You know, if you look at a book on that's of a period interior that really is a period interior, if you're going to copy a sort of French style or an English style, and that's the style that you want, then really do the research. I mean, the internet, of course, is such a great tool, as well as magazines and books, not to mention a local museum. Just have a look. I mean, just looking and learning will really help with that.
Let's talk about supersizing. Supersizing as in with furniture or decoration. One thing that you do have to be very careful of is furniture that's too big, obviously, for the room. So you have a smaller size room and you don't adjust the scale. You have this oversized stuffed sofa and matching chair that looks completely out of context with the room.
I think one of the reasons why people end up with these overscale pieces of, I mean, there are a few reasons. One of which is that the stores are very big. You walk into a store, you see a bed, you lie down on the bed, you say, gee, it's comfortable.
Right.
You bring it home into your home, which might have an 8-foot ceiling,
Yes.
and then this bed is absolutely humongous. And of course, the other negative aspect is that it makes the ceiling look that much lower and the
Yes.
space that much smaller. And of course, that goes for sofas and so on. But you know, the real thing is that only a very small percentage of the bed or the sofa actually engages with your body. The rest of it is just completely
Bulk.
it's just bulk. I mean, it's just a visual thing. I mean, I think that one's home is like a model. You know, if you think of a model, a beautiful woman or a beautiful man, they can wear any clothing and they can look great. And your home should be the same. If you've got good bones and good architecture, good architectural detailing, then you can kind of throw anything you like in it. In summary today, I think the most important elements of what we're presenting is quality, not quantity. Rather spend the money on details and a space that is of a finer quality than having more of something that is not.
I couldn't agree more. So it's really the integrity of the details and the materials that you're using. Also, do your research. And I think it really does pay to invest in the quality.
And have a strong sense of self. I'm Erwin.
And I'm Nicola. Thank you for watching Design to Share Q&A.
It would be a big mistake to ignore our wine to share Pomelo, 2006 California Sauvignon Blanc. The pomelo is giant citrus fruit native to Malaysia and thought to be the ancestor of the grapefruit. People love this great Sauvignon Blanc because it reminds them of the coral pink tangy juice from the pomelo. And of course, we love the 3 pomelos on the wine label and artwork by Anne Rio. It's as clean, stylish and crisp as the wine itself.
Pomelo Sauvignon Blanc is made entirely of Sauvignon Blanc grapes from Lake County, California. And the folks at Masson Cellars have crafted a beauty. There are subtle hints of grapefruit in this wine, along with floral nuances, honeysuckle and vanilla. We think you'll love the full and smooth mouth finish of this wine and its delicious nose. And it even has a screw-off cap, like so many of the wines we love to share.
Go to www.pomelowine.com for more information.